Luxury appliances are the sum of many details. It's here where ideas come to life and conventions are broken. Elegance is found where you least expect it. Openings inspire awe. Materials harness strength and beauty. Through passion and precision, we are redefining the world of luxury appliances. One detail at a time. We elevate everything. Monogram.
Hi everyone, thanks for joining us. I'm Julie Burns, Executive Director of Monogram Luxury Appliances, and I'm joining you from the Monogram Experience Center here at our headquarters in Louisville, Kentucky. Today we're taking you on another virtual travel experience to give you an inside look at Kips Bay in Palm Beach and meet up with our designers in Atlanta. But first, 2021 is a big year for Monogram, and we're delighted to share two new standout products this spring. One is our new professional range, which is right behind me. And many of you saw this at the range at Kips, but we'll send through a video in case you missed it. We're very proud of this piece, complete with solid brass detailing and a completely new innovation. We're also delighted to showcase our new wine sommelier refrigerator. We just received the first one, and I'm already redesigning my kitchen remodel around it. I'm going to pass you over to Alex Uxner here at our Experience Center to tell us a little more about it. Alex?
Thank you, Julie, and yes, we are absolutely thrilled to be able to show you all this unique product, the Monogram Wine Sommelier. This is a 30-inch fully integrated piece that we just had installed over the weekend, so we're happy to have it in here. And as you see here, what we did is we actually reversed this door to give it a left-hand swing, so we do have some nice customizability from an installation standpoint. But you see the gorgeous LED lighting on the inside illuminating this dual zone wine refrigerator unit. So we have, this beautiful stainless divider piece with the Monogram lettering, and I have an upper and lower wine zone. So what I have in here, actually in my upper zone, I am storing a blend of red wines at 55 degrees. Maybe some Pinots like to be served at 60, so perhaps I'd take that bottle, let it rest for a few minutes. And then below this divider, I actually have my whites stored here at 45 degrees. So again, typical serving temperature between 40 and 50 degrees, depending on the bottle. We have that flexibility. So I can set either of these two zones anywhere from 40 to 65 degrees. And we have these gorgeous full extension cedar wood racks that just have a seamless, smooth glide interaction, as well as the soft close. So, that's a really nice flexibility story when it comes to wine, but we have a really great story throughout the rest of the product. When I look at this waist-high shelf here, or the drawer rather. This is our freezer drawer. So this has a built-in automatic ice maker. So, you think about from an entertaining standpoint, maybe I have a guest who's more of a cocktail person than a wine person. I have my ice here. I have any of my frozen items that I may need. And then what really sets us apart is this bottom drawer, which is a convertible drawer. Now, I have the ability to set this to be a refrigerator, a freezer, or additional wine storage. So maybe I have my wine, I have my ice for my cocktails, and then I have, my cheese, my charcuterie, any hors d'oeuvres that might be going along with my entertainment. So we absolutely love this unit. Beautiful glass door, UV protected glass, and the ability to adjust the lighting on the inside as well. So really thrilled to bring you the Wine Sommelier, and that was a quick overview, and I will send it back to Julie.
Great, thank you, Alex. So I don't know about you guys, but I'm ready for a glass of wine now. All right, so we're delighted to host you for our second virtual Monogram event for Kips Decorator Show House. Today, of course, we are taking you behind the scenes for an up-close look at the stunning kitchen design in Palm Beach, Florida. Let's kick off with an inside peek in the house and a tour of the beautiful kitchen that you've all been waiting to see. Let's take a look.
Hi, I'm Mark Williams. We're here today at the Kips Palm Beach Decorator Show House in West Palm Beach, Florida. They ask designers from all over the country to create a really wonderful exhibition of design talent in a home that's here in West Palm Beach. This house is an amazing expression of design creativity. At Mark Williams Design, we don't think about design in terms of how individual objects look. We try to think of design in regards to how does a three-dimensional environment feel. And in working on the kitchen, anyone who's ever renovated a kitchen knows that we have a lot of moving parts and pieces to coordinate. From appliances to countertops to cabinetry to all of the great things that it takes to build a successful kitchen. When we approach the design of this kitchen specifically, we always want to respect the relationship between interiors and architecture. This happens to be a Spanish mission-style house in South Florida, of which there are many. So we did take some of the inspiration from a traditional Mediterranean-inspired kitchen, but we gave them a little twist. We tried to modernize it a little bit and make it current for today's living. This kitchen is not an incredibly large kitchen, and when we're working in slightly more compact spaces, integrating everything seamlessly is a really important design element that we use to try and make the space feel bigger than it actually is. Monogram does a beautiful job with the technology that they use to not just create appliances that work well when you're in the kitchen, but look beautifully integrated and look seamless in the overall design of the kitchen. Even in a small space, we got everything in that we needed to make it a functional kitchen, but then built around it with our materials palette and our tricks of the trade and design to make it beautiful as well. At the end of the day, the kitchen is a gathering space, whether it's friends, it's family, and Monogram allows me to make that gathering space comfortable, beautiful, but also functional for the person who's trying to prepare a meal. We love how Monogram allows us to do all of those things in one space.
Talk about a beautiful kitchen. I love it. So I'd like to welcome the incredibly talented designers of this stunning space and longtime friends of the Monogram brand, Mark Williams and Niki Papadopoulos of Mark Williams Design. Niki is a Monogram Designer Council alum, and as you can see, they are joining us from Mark's own kitchen in Atlanta, which is of course outfitted with Monogram appliances. As we start our conversation with Mark and Niki, please remember to enter your questions for them in the chat, and we'll be sure to get to them. Hi, guys. So, Mark,
Hey.
Hi. Mark, you imagined the kitchen for the 2021 show house as an informal gathering space for friends and family and for a homeowner who loves to cook. So, how did your selection of appliances fit into that concept?
So the selection of appliances was largely driven by the fact that it was a compact space. It wasn't a huge kitchen. So to create zones that are for cooking and zones that are for guests, friends, and family, we really wanted to keep everything seamlessly integrated and designed in very tightly to one another for the chef's convenience, but also to create clearly defined spaces for people to be for gathering around, but then for the chef to be when he's trying to prepare a meal. So that's how we use the appliances to define those spaces.
I think that's great. I mean, I think compact design and just the footprint I know was smaller than what your some others. All right, so Niki, you were inspired by the Spanish Mediterranean style of the house. So tell me a little bit about how you incorporated that into the kitchen.
So the first thing that we used was the terracotta floors, which were original to the home. And sort of all of the designers on the first floor agreed that we were going to retain them and not try to make a wholesale change because they are carried throughout the whole ground floor. And so, really we started with that and kind of wanted to create some tension between this fine line between handmade and man-made, this really beautiful, precise cabinetry and all of the technology involved in the appliances, and marry that against some more handmade artisan quality product. So our wall tile is all from fire clay. We have beautiful hand-painted wallpaper from Fromental that has a great counterpoint to some of the more technologically advanced product that we used. Specifically the Decton countertops. We love white marble countertops, and being able to use Decton, which looked in a sort of Italian that you would find in any kind of beautiful Italian kitchen in some gorgeous countryside, and kind of marry that with that technology and create that push and pull and that tension.
Yeah, I love it. I love how just it all works together. It's so beautifully done. And then, Mark, we talked a little bit earlier. So the kitchen is not a huge space. So tell me a little bit of how, you had to completely rework it. So what challenges did you face when you did that? And did you have a particular aha moment that helped you land on the final design?
Well, we did completely rework the layout and plan of the kitchen. The original kitchen space was kind of awkwardly laid out where none of the functional zones were close to one another. And there was a kind of an obstacle of a tiny little island in the middle of a U-shaped space that you just wanted to bump into going from here to there. If you're at the sink, going to the cooktop, or at the refrigerator, trying to get back to the sink, it was always in the way. So by dividing the kitchen into a cooking zone, which is tight and efficient, and a guest zone, as we talked about, where people can gather, that really drove the design process. Once we had the functional layout complete, then we went about creating a materials palette that complemented the architecture of the house and really created a beautiful environment to live in.
Yeah, I love that design that you did is just really open and a place to gather. I love it. So Niki, you obviously thought of every single last detail of the kitchen. And so tell me a little bit why, details are just so important when you start thinking about luxury design.
Well, I think details are everything in luxury design. It's easy for someone to walk into, a local cabinet shop and come out with a good looking kitchen, but it's not necessarily efficient. And making sure that the kitchen works for you is something that's really important to us. So we always talk with our clients. And in this case, Kips Bay, the house has a homeowner. And so he was really integral in part of our planning process, making sure that we're thinking through the things, that matter, like where do you store your knives and where do you store your pots and pans, and kind of taking stock of everything that he has and making sure that it's all properly accommodated. And the other thing that we also try to do is make sure that everything is easy to use. So nothing is overly complicated. And that's one of the reasons why we love working with Monogram appliances, is because they're so user friendly. And as someone who does not cook and is really bad at it, being able to go through really fantastic prompts on, the 5-in-1 oven, for example, and being able to use the precision cooking feature, those are things that, we're really able to give our clients confidence in the kitchen by thinking through things like proper storage and ease of use with appliances.
Yeah, I love that. It's so funny you were saying that. I am sure you're probably not nearly as bad at cooking as you say that you are. But definitely it helps to have the precision mode for sure. So that way you don't have to worry about burning anything. So Mark, we absolutely love that you've got your personal kitchen also has Monogram appliances. So tell me a little bit about why you selected Monogram and, how are they working for you?
When I was designing this kitchen that we're standing in now, I really wanted to play with some of the new Monogram product because I can speak more intelligently to my clients about the product if I've used it myself. And this gives me a lot of room and time to experiment with things, discover what's easy, what is a great amenity that I can tell my potential clients about. And the induction cooktop here in this kitchen was a really great thing for me to play with. And I've been to Monogram cooking exhibitions in Chicago at the showroom there. And it looks really easy, but you don't know how really easy it is until you've done it yourself. So that was a driver for me to get it in here in this kitchen.
I think that's incredible. I mean, it is. It's definitely something. I mean, we talk at Monogram about how it's the mark of luxury that you can see and feel, right? And so being able to actually experience that is great and much easier to be able to talk about as well. So Niki, we know that 2020 was really just a tough year for all of us. And so based on what we've all been through, tell me a little bit about, what are some of the trends that you see emerging in the next wave of luxury home design?
So, everybody talks about how no one has ever spent this much time in their house as they have in the last, 14-ish months. So a big thing that we're seeing here, especially in the South where our climate is so temperate, is a lot of outdoor living. So we're getting a lot of requests for outdoor living spaces, outdoor kitchens, because in Atlanta, you're pretty much able to be outside a good 10, sometimes even 12 months of the year. The other thing that we're getting a lot of requests for are these, more investment spaces like the kitchen, like the primary owner suite, because people, they're realizing that maybe this kitchen project that they put off for so long, it's time for them to revisit that because they've never cooked so much in their entire life. So, I know for me, I'm ready for a kitchen revamp. But that's definitely what we have seen the most of is outdoor living and wanting to be outside and, ease of use in terms of a new kitchen or primary bath.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting. I mean, I think, function is really important. And I think it's one of the things that after all of us spending so much time at home, you realize going, oh, how does that function and how is that laid out? And of course, I mean, I think you guys know we are not yet outdoor. Certainly something that Monogram is continually kind of getting feedback and something that we, really strive on in terms of trends and trying to understand like what it is that our homeowners want. And so function and ease is always really important. So you mentioned this earlier about ease, and that's really what makes a house a home. So tell me a little bit about how you kind of bring that feeling into the space.
Of course, for us, as Nikki said earlier, ease and convenience are the ultimate luxury in today's crazy world. So when we're designing spaces for clients, we want every home that we design to feel like a big exhale when you get home at the end of the day. The world is chaotic, the news is chaotic. So when you're in your space, we want some of that chaos to be lifted from your shoulders. And the ease of a space, the convenience of a space are really things that can help do that. So making things sensible, making things logical, putting everything that you need to reach for at arm's reach is something that we very carefully consider in every design project.
I love that. And it is one of those. It makes things so much more efficient. It just makes it really easy and just really comfortable. So tell me about what is your favorite part of the kitchen in this particular Kips Bay home?
Oh gosh. So I definitely love the beverage drawers because that's where I was stashing champagne. But Mark and I, neither of us are really good at cooking. Like we can make cereal. Mark can cook a chicken so that it's not poisonous, but we're blessed to have significant others, spouses who love to cook. And so Mark and I are always the ones that have to have this really great, huge sink from Kohler, which is their new product, the Prolific sink that has all these great features. You can set it up like a bar. It's kind of amazing. There's a colander, drying racks. We love it. But the biggest thing for us is being able to put things away and knowing where they're supposed to go so that the next day when our husbands are like, okay, where are the tongs? They know that they're in the right place. So thinking through, where everything needs to be is something that we take a lot of pride in when we're designing kitchens, and making sure that all of those inserts and little conveniences are really thought through is something that means a lot to us. And so that's kind of our favorite feature in the kitchen is, opening the doors and drawers and showing people, what we thought of behind just the pretty exterior.
And at Kips Bay specifically, I think our cabinetry partner, Bentwood Luxury Kitchens, was fantastic in working through some of their really great inserts and some of their bells and whistles to make this kitchen at Kips Bay really function beautifully for the homeowner.
I love that. Yes, I mean, it's just, I want to go and now see all of the drawers and everything else that you guys thought of now that you mentioned this. So tell me a little bit, like what else is kind of inspiring you right now and what you're seeing in some of your other projects?
Wow, inspiration for us comes from so many different places. Every job is different for us in that we want to talk to each individual client, learn about them, learn about their families, learn about how they live. So every single job aesthetically is different. Every single job functionally is different because everybody has different wants and needs. There are threads that kind of carry through from client to client, and there are threads that carry through in our design language from home to home, in that we always want it to be tailored and we want it to be sophisticated, but not so tailored and sophisticated. So ultimately, our inspiration, like it today, came from the original architecture of the home. Potentially, if we're building a home from the ground up, it comes from the site that we're working in. The general wants and needs of the client are always different.
That's so great. Well, and it's just, I love that you can find inspiration anywhere, right? So I think that's wonderful. So tell me a little bit, like, what's up next for you guys? I mean, what kind of big projects, should we keep our eye on with you?
We have a couple of really great new projects that we're just digging into. We have a really wonderful family home renovation that's starting up in Nashville that we're really excited about. That's Mark's second hometown is Nashville. He's kind of burning up the highway every weekend, going back and forth between Atlanta and Nashville. And then we have another ground up new project construction where Mark is responsible for the architecture and I'm handling the interiors just outside of Atlanta for another family, which will be really exciting. But we've seen a lot of these second home projects that have come up either from repeat clients or new clients that are sort of pulling the trigger on things that they may have always dreamed about doing, like moving to a specific neighborhood in Atlanta or moving out of Atlanta altogether and, finding refuge somewhere else. So it's, we have a lot of really great stuff cooking.
That
No pun
sounds like,
intended.
I love that. Well, it's so funny. It's just, that just sounds great. And Nashville is actually pretty close to my heart. We just moved from Nashville to Louisville recently. And so can't wait to hear more about those projects that you guys are working on. That sounds so exciting. So it looks like we got a question from the chat asking about how Monogram is working with designers and using their input for future projects and trend work. So it's great. I mentioned earlier that Niki was one of our alums from our designer council. So we started a designer council a year ago. Niki was an alum, but she was part of our inaugural group. And, we want to continue to make sure that we're engaging the design community, understanding what's going on and what is happening. And so some really good feedback, for instance, on what we did is with this Pro Range is that talking about how do you modernize that design and how does that continue to look? And so one of the things that we took feedback on was just how, typically the two oven doors were independent and look separate from one another versus now with our new design, you've got this expansive glass. And so it looks like one cohesive piece all the way around. So we're continually pulsing designers, understanding what's going on and really taking that to heart so that we can pull that into our product development timeline. All right, so with that, Mark, Niki, thank you guys so much for your time. This was an incredible discussion. Thanks so much to all of you at home for joining us. I so appreciate it, and I hope that you found this conversation as inspiring as I did. I want to go out and immediately do all of my remodels, grab the wine sommelier, have Mark and Niki work on it. If you guys have any additional questions, please reach out to our PR team and follow us on social and to keep up with our design conversations. And of course, there's lots of great content on monogram.com. So thanks so much, everyone, and have a great rest of your day.
Luxury appliances are the sum of many details. It's here where ideas come to life and conventions are broken. Elegance is found where you least expect it. Openings inspire awe. Materials harness strength and beauty. through passion and precision. We are redefining the world of luxury appliances. One detail at a time. We elevate everything. Monogram.